Hi everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm going to be working in my Reading with Heba journal. So I didn't finish November and December in my 2021 Reading with Heba journal, so I thought it would be fun to share the process with you and do a little flip through at the end of this video. So let's get to it. So if you are not a part of the Reading with Heba book club, I definitely recommend to come and join us. I always have the link down in the description box for you. It's a little book club on Instagram and we get together and read books. It's so much fun. But anyways, for November, we read The Babysitter. We decided to read a nonfiction and we voted for The Babysitter. So I have been enjoying creating this like little collage of photos that represents the story and tells the story in photos. So what I did was I went ahead, printed out my photos, and I've been keeping this little journal kind of cohesive where I have this little box with the title, author, and the rating and the date. And I've been stamping that and adding it to the right corner. And I also stamp this little play button or little screen button thing that I've been using for my audiobooks. So basically, a lot of these books, I listen to them through audiobooks just because it's faster for me and I can listen to them when I'm working or cooking or whatever I'm doing. So anyways, I've been doing that. So I stamped out 2 of them because I need to finish November and December. And now I can put everything down and start sticking down these photos and my review. I kind of play around with the sizes of my photos. I like it to kind of look messy a little bit and more like a puzzle, if that makes sense. But I always like to add the book cover to the left side at the top. Then I have the review and my audiobook photo always in the same spot. And the rest of the photos, kind of like I said earlier, they come in like a puzzle and I just add them in between those 3 important things that I want to keep cohesive. I'm going to go ahead and trim these down, add my journaling, and also add my book cover in the center of my audio stamp. And once I have everything stuck down, I can start like stamping and making this look all pretty and nice. I really had fun putting this journal together just because it was a little bit different than what I usually do when documenting my books. But I will still be using this notebook for 2022, but I'm thinking of changing it up a little bit. I think I want like the years to look different, if that makes sense, especially that I'm using the same notebook for multiple years. Anyways, at this point, I have everything stuck down and now I can play with my stamps. So I'm going to start by stamping November at the top, like right above my book cover. I also want to use this stamp set. This is the Reading with Heba stamp set from Feed Your Craft. And I thought that little book stack with the coffee cup was perfect in that corner. So I'm going to end up stamping that. I will come back to it and fill it out with some color. It's a great way to add color with your stamps. And I took advantage of the stamp set from the Paper Person shop. This stamp is all about like shows you're watching, and there was true crime images in there. So it had like cuffs. So I thought they were perfect to document this book because it's all about a serial killer and stuff like that. So I went ahead and stamped out the cuffs. I stamped true crime. I grabbed my stickers, add a few stickers here and there. I'm going to finish up by filling out my book stack, and I'm going to stamp circle stamp from Everyday Explorers, I believe, and it says Pick of the Month Book Club. Now, to break down all that color at the top corner, I'm going to stamp that circle stamp on some craft paper and punch it out and add that to the left side. That way there's color on both sides and it's not all sitting in the like right corner, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead, finish up the spread by adding some washi tape, and then we can move on to December, where I'm documenting This Tender Land. We got to read This Tender Land for December, and it was a beautiful book. And I'm literally going to do the same exact thing, but change up my embellishing and my stamps. So you're going to see me here add my photos. Some of the photos I'll end up trimming because they fall in the fold of my notebook, which I'm okay with. I do this all the time. I don't mind trimming my photos. It's not a big deal, but I also keep in mind that I'm trying to keep things cohesive. So I'm going to keep my journaling at the top, my little audiobook on the bottom, and then my book cover on the left side. So everything looks the same, but a little bit slightly different because I change up the stamping and the embellishing, but everything looks pretty much cohesive. And I love that simplicity because it helps, the project come together quickly, and you're not worried about, oh, what do I do for this layout, or what do I do for this month? Basically, if you have certain things in the same spot all the time, you really don't have to think hard about putting the project together or the layout together. So after trimming down some of my photos and sticking them down, I just need to trim down my audio cover and get it to fit into my little stamped image here. Once I get that done, I'll stick it down, but I thought to myself, it looks, I don't know, photo heavy on the left. There was a lot of empty space next to my audio book. So what I decided to do is grab that last photo on the bottom, trim it down to fit more on the right than the left. That way it balances out the right and left side of my spread, if that makes sense. Once I get that done, I'm going to start stamping. I'm going to grab the stamp set from Everyday Explorers. It's all about books and reading. So I'm going to end up stamping "This was a good read" in the corner of the left side of my spread, just so I can fill out that empty space. I'll also stamp "Love this book" on white paper. I thought it was the perfect stamp to trim out and use as an embellishment. I also want to stamp the date. Again, this is something that I do for every single spread. So I'll end up stamping the date right above my book cover. I stamp "Read" next to that, and I will end up filling out that space with a sticker. But basically, this is how my brain works. I'm just trying to fill out those empty spots with stamping and trying to bring in some color. This is where the color comes in, where I use this little flower to add some flowers with dark blue ink and some lighter shades of blue to match my book cover. And that's where I'm going to trim out that "Love this book" stamp and add that as an embellishment and fill out the center. That way the flowers are kind of surrounding that little stamped image, if that makes sense. And I just love how everything comes together quickly, just because I'm like repeating myself basically. And I'm okay with that because what is happening right now is me documenting what I read, adding my journaling, adding my star ratings and all that good stuff. I grabbed some of my Reading with Heba stickers and add one of those right next to December. I'll also be grabbing like a little label in yellow because at the end when I was almost done, I felt like it needed a little bit of yellow because the book cover had it. So I end up adding the Remember tab to one of my photos. And then I call my spread done, and I wanted to do a little flip through for you just so you can see how my journal turned out for 2021. Okay, you guys, I am done with my Reading with Heba book club journal. I'm really excited. I'm gonna use this for 2022 as well because there's a lot of pages in there and I don't want to waste those. But let's take a quick look at my journal. So that's my title page, and I will end up adding 2022 when I start my spreads there. So January, we read Daisy Jones and the Six. And if you are interested in being a part of our book club, by the way, I do have it linked in the description box for you, and it's free. So February was Such a Fun Age, which I really enjoyed. A Woman is No Man, we read in March. April was The Beauty of Your Face. May was Maybe in Another Life. I really like that book. I forgot to put my star ratings. Sometimes I forget to fill in things, but I'm okay with going back in and doing it later. I do remember giving that a 5 stars. It was one of my favorite books of the year. Finley Donovan is killing it. Before We Were Yours, we read in July. That one I enjoyed as well. There was a lot of 5 stars in our book club. For August, we read One of Us is Lying. I think this month was Young Adult. This book was, okay for me. September was Clap When You Land. This is another book that was okay for me, and I was so excited that I was able to use those stamp sets. I've had those forever, and they're so pretty, and it was just perfect to use it on the spread. October was The Winter People. November was The Babysitter. And December was This Tender Land. And I'm so excited to keep journaling and documenting our little book club. And hopefully I can fit in a few more years in here. I love the Traveler's Notebooks from Archer and Olive. The paper is amazing. It's exactly like the rest of her journals. But also I like the size for like a reading journal as well. But that's about it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me put together the last 2 spreads in my journal and that little flip through. And don't forget, I will be adding all the links for everything I use down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.